Hello everyone, this is going to be a chrono guide to help keep quickness and alacrity after the most recent balance patch. Continuum Split has been changed from 90-second cooldown to 105, which means that that's like another 15 seconds worth of quickness and alacrity we have to worry about before being able to reset our rotation. But with the addition of the illusions trait line, we have monster misdirection, which means our shatters have a 15% reduced cooldown, meaning Continuum Split comes back to around the 90-second mark, which is where we were before. We'll just take some traits, like, doesn't matter, as long as we have Master of Misdirection, we don't care. We take Inspiration because we have Illusionary Inspiration, makes everything a lot easier for us. So, what we'll be doing is we'll start off with our Illusionary Leap. Illusionary Leap is going to hit the golem and we'll weapon swap, triggering our Signet of Concentration. We then use our Phantasmal Swordsman. When Phantasmal Swordsman's cast finishes, we enter Continuum Split, use Signet of Inspiration, Well of Action, Well of Recall. We leave Continuum Split, we use Phantasmal Swordsman, Signet of Inspiration, Well of Action, Well of Recall. We weapon swap and use Tides of Time, and then I will go on from there. So we start off with Illusionary Leap. Illusionary Leap hits the golem. We weapon swap, it triggers our Signet of Concentration, Phantasmal Swordsman into Continuum Split with Signet of Inspiration, Well of Action, Well of Recall. We then use our Swordsman again, Signet of Inspiration, Well of Action, Well of Recall, and then our Tides of Time. That is a good opening burst for quickness and alacrity, giving us approximately 20 seconds on both. We then auto attack, wait for our Well of Action and our Signet of Inspiration to come off cooldown. Well of Action, weapon swap, Swordsman, Inspiration. We then auto attack and wait for our weapon swap to come off. Well of Recall, weapon swap, Tides of Time. We then do this once more, auto attack and wait for Signet of Inspiration to come off cooldown. Well of Action, weapon swap, Swordsman, Inspiration. We now wait until weapon swap comes off cooldown again, and we'll use our Tides of Time, and then be ready to restart the rotation. This time I'll be doing the rotation at regular speed, meaning that we'll be able to keep up boons much easier. There's not a lot of timing needed for the rotation at all, but doing everything in quick succession does help out, meaning we can fit more into our Signet of Concentration. So I'll reset our clones here. Illusionary Leap, Swordsman, Continuum Split, Inspiration, Action, Recall, Swordsman, Inspiration, Action, Recall, Weapon Swap, Tides of Time. We then auto attack, wait for our cooldowns. Action, weapon swap, Swordsman, Inspiration. Auto attack. Do not use Well of Recall, wait for the weapon swap. Well of Recall, weapon swap, Tides of Time. Wait for our weapon swap again. Action, weapon swap, Swordsman, Inspiration. Wait for our weapon swap once more. Weapon swap, Shield 5, Tides of Time. And now we wait for the 9 seconds for Signet of Inspiration, and then we can restart the rotation. Weapon swap, Swordsman, Continuum Split, Inspiration, Action, Recall. Swordsman, Inspiration, Action, Recall, Weapon swap, and then Tides of Time when it comes off cooldown. We wait until Well of Action and Signet of Inspiration are off cooldown. Well of Action, weapon swap, Swordsman, Inspiration. Will of Recall is coming off cooldown. Do not use it, wait for the weapon swap. Will of action, weapon swap, tides of time. One more time. We do not use Will of action, we're waiting for weapon swap. Will of action, weapon swap, swordsman, inspiration. We then weapon swap once more. Tides of time, and we reset again. I'll go through it one more time just to help with the learning process. We begin by using Illusionary Leap in Sword Shield, Weapon Swap, Phantasm Sword 5 into Continuum Split, Will of Action, Will of Recall, and Signet of Inspiration. Continuum Split ends, Phantasm Sword 5, Inspiration, Will of Action, Will of Recall, followed by Weapon Swap and Tides of Time, our Shield 5. We then have this long period of auto attacks, so we can CC here, do boss mechanics, do whatever the hell we want, because it's downtime. We've already given our boon burst, you know, just do whatever you want. But be ready for when Will of Action comes off cooldown. We use Will of Action off cooldown, Weapon Swap, Sword Phantasm Sword 5, triggering our Lesser Signet of Inspiration, followed by Signet of Inspiration. We now have another period of auto attacks until our Weapon Swap is off cooldown again. Weapon Swap comes off cooldown, we use Will of Recall, Weapon Swap, and our Shield 5 Tides of Time. Once our Weapon Swap comes off cooldown again, we will be using Will of Action, Weapon Swap, our Phantasmal Sword 5 for Lesser Signet of Inspiration, followed by Signet of Inspiration. We then auto attack once more, waiting for our Weapon Swap. We will now Weapon Swap and use our Shield 5 ready to repeat the rotation. We auto attack until our Signet of Inspiration comes off of cooldown. It comes off cooldown, we weapon swap Phantasm Sword 5 into Continuum Split, Signet of Inspiration, Will of Action, Will of Recall. Continuum Split will end, we'll use our Phantasm Sword again. Phantasm Sword 5, Inspiration, Will of Action, Will of Recall, followed by a weapon swap, and then we will use Shield 5 when it comes off of cooldown. Tides of Time comes off cooldown, so we use it now. We still gain the benefit of our Signet of Concentration, as it lasts for 7 seconds. We now have the long auto attack period, so we can wait until our Will of Action comes off cooldown. Will of Action, Weapon Swap, Phantasm Sword 5, Signet of Inspiration. For additional damage, you can use your heal skill to reset your Phantasmal skills and respawn your Phantasmal Swordsman for more damage. Weapon Swap comes off cooldown, Will of Recall, Weapon Swap, Tides of Time. While in shield, you can use your shield block for extra survivability and or to gain protection for your group. Weapon Swap comes off cooldown, Will of Action, Weapon Swap, Phantasmal Sword 5, Signet of Inspiration. Once again, you can use your Signet of Aether heal skill to gain another use for your Phantasmal Sword 5 for additional damage. You can also use Blood Frenzy off of cooldown. We weapon swap and use our Shield 5 ready to repeat the rotation again. During this time, if you do not have any clones up, make sure you use your Illusionary Leap so you can last Continuum Split. Phantasmal Sword 5, Continuum Split, Inspiration, Will of Action, Will of Recall. Continuum Split ends. Phantasmal Sword 5, Inspiration, Will of Action, Will of Recall, Weapon Swap, and Shield 5 when it comes off of cooldown. once again, a long period of auto attacks and downtime. Feel free to do mechanics, res people, do whatever you need. CCs, oh so good. Bellow of Action comes off cooldown. Bellow of Action, weapon swap, Sword Phantasm 5, Signet of Inspiration. Whenever you have 3 clones up, you can use your F1 Shatter for extra damage. Weapon swap happens, so Bellow of Recall, weapon swap, shield 5. You can hold off on using your shield 5 during these moments as it can be used for additional CCs. Bellow of Action, weapon swap, Phantasm Sword 5, Signet of Inspiration. Your offhand Sword 4 can be used also for additional CC. If you choose to use Focus, you can have your Focus 4 as a pull. Weapon swap and shield 5 ready to repeat the rotation. Make sure if you do not have any clones up during this time, you use Illusionary Leap, otherwise your Continuum Split will not last long enough. Phantasm Sword 5, Continuum Split, Signet of Inspiration, Bellow of Action, Bellow of Recall. Continuum Split ends, Phantasm Sword 5, Signet of Inspiration, Bellow of Action, Bellow of Recall. We then weapon swap and use our shield 5 when it comes off cooldown. That is it for this rotation video. I hope you guys can learn this rotation and continue enjoying your Chronomancer. The Continuum Split change was a little bit annoying, but we can work around it. Keep up boons for everyone. Chronomancer, still the best. Have fun and enjoy everyone. Thanks for watching.